Daisy Thomas with us. Daisy!
Yes.
What a crazy weekend of football.
What a crazy weekend. It's good to be here on a Tuesday, albeit. How
I know,
about that?
Bit of fun.
Short week for you guys. How good?
I know, short week. Who doesn't love a short week? What about Richmond West Coast to start? That was a bit of a funny affair, wasn't it? I thought Richmond were just going to get home in a trot.
Well, it looked like that for a large portion of that. And to West Coast credit, they managed to come back from... I still don't really know how. Sitting there at home, you're watching it, you're like, they're going to get close, but Richmond will do their thing again. Dusty will bob up and kick a goal. But
kick 5 in a row.
It wasn't to be, and of course, the umpire is in question over how far that last kick from Flying Ryan went to Josh Kennedy, whether or not it was more than 4 metres.
Turns out it was 14.5 metres.
So they got it wrong. They buggered it up.
Fair enough.
There should be an inquiry. Take the points off them.
Sydney Hawthorn was a strange one as well.
It's always this time of year when you have teams coming off the bye, teams looking forward to the bye. The Hawks that had the bye as the Swan go into their bye this weekend. So you've got one team essentially fresh. The news out of Hawthorn, of course, they did the big old-school boxing match during the week, and one of their players went down with some concussion.
Knocked out.
Now there's an actual AFL inquiry into that as to...
I don't think they should be boxing. I mean, why would you be boxing?
Well, boxing is a part of football training in terms of your off legs when times you can't run, and that is done quite a lot.
Is it?
Yeah.
But are you just hitting a bloke who's carrying pads? Like, why are you hitting another guy in the head?
Well, that's probably where the issue now lies with all this concussion stuff, and does that need to happen? We obviously don't make light of concussion, but it got a response. You don't want blokes going down, but in terms of toughening them up a little bit, and look, when you're talking about boxing, you do it at footy club. It's the 20-ounce gloves. You got the headgear on, so it's not like the proper MMA. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's
no elbows.
There's not usually anyone leaving with claret or concussion.
No. What about North? Just majestic stuff.
Just
magical.
Oh.
Who knew we'd win a game and a half this year?
Yes, I know. It should have been 28 points up at three-quarter time down there in Tassie.
Just an opportunity to win one.
Just a strange, and then probably should have lost it with Lloyd from the GWS Giants having a shot with
Missed
seconds
everything.
to go and just put it into Rose. It must have seen his mate in the second tier and just laced him out.
Yeah, bang.
It was just a weird round of footy. Of course, the big one yesterday that we'll touch on a touch later as well was the Pies getting it done against the D's.
It's crazy.
Another game, we all expected a response because of Nathan Buckley going out, but just the manner in which they played and the manner in which Melbourne didn't was... It was a bit strange. So it was a good weekend of footy, a good long weekend of footy for us Melburnians who could travel 25 metres to the nearest pub to watch it for 2 hours and then catch the rest of it at home before your sitting was up.
Just what a strange weekend. What about Bucks saying farewell to the club and getting a wonderful piece of dirt in a Perspex box?
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange one, wasn't it? The piece of dirt.
Have you seen the photo we've got?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of the photos going, it is a dead set piece of dirt.
I mean, that's just a rolled up piece of dirt in a Perspex box.
See, I got a similar thing from Carlton on the way out, but I'm still not sure if it's dirt or something else. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Could be a giant scoop.
Yeah. I was going more a bit of dry dog dirt, but anywho, that was a fantastic day to have him sent off like that. The response that the players gave to him, we heard the clip in the news just then of the final speech that he gave at three-quarter time because when I retired, I don't think I could have addressed the players before the game. I was all fine going down to the game where I played down in Geelong, and then as the coach gave the final address, it all sort of hit you that this is it, this is the end, and I started getting really emotional. I couldn't really look at anyone, and so for him to not only coach but deliver a message, he was very calm throughout.
No emotion at all, but that could be the Botox.
Yeah. Zing.
Winners and losers.
Winners and losers time. Well, the draw. I'll start off with the draw. I just think the draw needs to go.
Yeah.
Just in terms of, the grand final doesn't do it anymore. So it used to be the grand final. If it was a draw, you come back the next week. That's now changed to time on. So is there room anymore for a draw in the game? That's sort of my angle. And those games, I think, probably deserve a winner. It was a good game of footy. So whether you figure it out, be golden point like they do in the rugby.
Well, I think every other code has a
that's
way of solving the issue.
5 minutes extra time, and then if it's a draw, maybe you allow it. But I just think the anticlimax at the end of that game is, the fans deserve more. And I'm sure
there was 3,500 down there.
And that was all North fans too. So that's, what's that, 150% of their membership. So well done to them. Bang. The Saints, they were my second loser of the weekend. Now, they kept the Crows scoreless in the first quarter. They were starting to play some really good footy. They were 5 goals up at halftime. And they got overrun by the Crows.
Who are a funny club at the moment, aren't they?
They are. They I think they're
came
at least
banging out of the blocks.
Somewhat honest. They sort of, you know what you're going to get. So the Saints, you wouldn't want them walking your dog, would you?
No.
Just cannot hang on to a lead. So they're my second loser. And the third loser, it's somewhat out of that game. The MRO and the David Mackay incident where he's been sent straight to the tribunal on the back of a hit on Jack Steele. Now,
what did you think of it?
Well, I think it's absolutely ludicrous that it's been sent straight to the tribunal and they've effectively washed their hands of the responsibility, and then they've come out, they've put a statement out saying under the criteria of high, severe, all these things, it'll probably be a 3-week suspension. Now, as I said before, we're not about condoning concussion and things, but we need to understand sometimes there's going to be collisions in our sport because of the way it's played, the velocity that the players are going at. You can't control these things. That was a genuine contest between 2 blokes, eyes on the ball, and one unfortunately came off worse than the other from a freak way that they collided. So,
well, if he's 3 inches lower, it's shoulder-on-shoulder contact and no one cares.
And he's not trying to... The whole thing is he's trying to win the ball. I had the same beef with Lockie Plowman on Jager O'Meara saying that he made a decision to go and contest the ball. You can't factor in, are you going to get there first? Is he going to get there first?
Because he doesn't seem to brace. He seems to just run through the line of the ball.
The only bracing he has is when he's sort of putting his hands out as if he was to collect the ball, which... At the time and point of impact in the slow motion vision, you see he has his hands on the ball. So
I don't know what more he's got to do.
Well, that's it. And I think
other than miss his head,
I think you'll find that he's in a bit of trouble now that it has been sent straight across. So I don't really like the MRO, and they haven't done a very good job this year, in my opinion. The winners.
Here we go.
Here we go. A bit of fun to finish off with the Cats. I thought they were unbelievable. Flying into into Port Adelaide on the day of the game. Jeremy Cameron said he had a 4-hour nap under a table because they got there at 11, didn't have to play till 5 or something ridiculous like that because of the COVID restrictions. To come out and not only win, at one point they were 9 points down in that game. Looked like Port were going to run away with it. They kicked 3 goals in 57 seconds to then go 9 points up.
Unbelievable. 17-10 to 14-7.
They are just really starting to flex, and he is an absolute gun, that being Jeremy Cameron. The second biggest winner was the Pies, and in particular Bucks.
Yes.
Good game of footy. I don't think anyone really gave the Pies a hope, and probably for good reason. 16th versus first. And they came out, they found a way to win. They played unbelievable footy. They caught Melbourne, who have been sensational in that back line, just completely off guard. It honestly looked like the teams almost switched ladder positions for a large portion of that game with the ease at which Collingwood were moving the ball. And just the send-off for Bucks, it was really well done by the footy club. We joked about the bit of dirt, which
got
probably
some dirt in a container.
Probably not ideal, but
he's got it for life.
Having his kids up there, Jet and Ace. So
has he met his kids?
They were up there. Well done to them. And the biggest winner, of course, was Big Freeze number 7.
Yes,
the sliders, everything that comes of it. Everyone at that ground wearing beanies. The goal umpires wearing beanies.
Have you slid yet?
I haven't. No.
Next year for you.
Maybe we'll see. It's cold. I don't really. They used to pay me about $750,000. I didn't go in the ice bars, so I don't know if I'd do it for free. Not the point. It is a good charity.
How much they raised?
Over $2 million yesterday during the game, so that'll continue. So if you are in a position to still buy a beanie, support a great cause, please do so because they are doing some great things. So to Neil Danaher, he gets the 3rd biggest winner of the weekend.
Well done, Daisy.
Thank you very much.
Chat to you next week.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Triple M.